Welcome, I'm Bill Wake. We're here working on Dulcimer Players Tools. It's an app that supports dulcimer players with things like metronomes and, in particular, a festival calendar to say when do events occur that you might want to go to. So we've got the basic form of that working that just lists the events, and we'd like to do some sorting and filtering, similar to what we did with the jam tunes and songs. All right, now on the path to that, yesterday we focused on date range, and we introduced this MDY component, month, day, year, as our version of a date. As I'm thinking about it, I think maybe we need to be pushing this back further. And if the calendar reader reads things in their dates, that's fine. I mean, there's Swift dates. But for our purposes, we don't really care, I don't think. It's handier for us to have things in this sort of component form. Excuse me. So I think we should get rid of date out of event. We have that here. And I think, so date range, I think, should take the MDYs rather than the dates, and this entity should take MDYs as well. So to push that through, well, let's get it on our do list here. Let's say use MDY for events rather than date. Okay, and so if I change it here, it's going to break this. So let's work our way down first, and then we'll come back. Okay, so MDY of start. Well, can we get from an MDY to a date? If we can do that, it doesn't really matter. Maybe it's just not that big to matter. Let's see who talks about start dates. I mean, it's the callers for sure. Okay, calendar view, preview, event. It's not a lot. Okay, maybe we will just change them and deal with the consequences. I think given it's really kind of 2 or 3 classes, there's just not a lot of stuff involved. And then date range. Well, does anybody care here? No, I don't think so. So date range. Well, let's just give it the extra constructor init start of MDY, end of MDY. I probably can get that with completion if I do it right. Yep. Okay. Oops. I didn't do the right keystroke, I guess. No. Well, probably faster to just put it in at this point. Okay. So I believe our date range, okay, that should fix that. So when I build, it's going to be the callers. Well, I want to get the tests and previews. Okay, there's enough. All right, start date. Well, let's just do MDY. Oh, MDY doesn't support it either. Okay, let's add it there. Okay, so now this thing's just doing a preview. That's fine. Month 3, day 22, year 2021. And we'll go to MDY of 3/26/2021. Okay. Event view. Okay. Well, that's pretty much the same thing. We can just grab these. Event start date, end date. I'll close the event first. Let's use our Control M so I can practice that. Okay, yeah, that's nice. Who converts date from the ICS to 3 integers? I think that's going to be the parser for the ICS file. So in effect, I think what we're doing here is we're saying event, if I divide it up into like interface, like, you know, they have this sort of port idea, like what are the interfaces that are going to be from the external stuff like ICS files or web pages or whatever they are to our internal thing that we work with, that whoever converts that is responsible to convert the dates to MDYs. And I don't think that'll be that. I think that's a reasonable thing for it to do. It's going to have to do other conversions too. I mean, the location, the URL is not, there's no URL field in the ICS file. So we'll have to do some parsing to dig that out and convert it. So I think we're just pushing it off to a future thing, but within our code, we can work with that pretty well. Okay, so what's this one? Okay, so we can't do that. Oh, these are just examples again. Oh, no, this is kind of convenient. Year 1 is just not realistic, right? So let's get something that's well, yeah. Okay, so you know, distant past is just too far back, but I was too lazy to build an actual date that had it. So I think that's okay for this. So now I think things should work. Whoever's creating events, which is just a couple of places and a few tests, there may be a test that needs some rework, but we'll get there. Okay, so tests running. Well, now this code is useful for that ICS parser, but I don't think we need it. So let me put in the to-do for ICS parsing to convert date to MDY. Okay. So test passed. So we're going to move event to use MDY. Okay. All right. So this thing, well, this thing is at least in that format now. So I think we can ignore it. But date range, I don't think anybody's calling this one. Okay, a test. All right, so yeah, now I could make these MDYs MDY, put the year last. Okay. Okay, and that function is no longer needed. Did I get rid of it? No. But there should be no more usages. Okay, and who's calling this one? Nobody. Good. Okay, so I think, well, let's push this. And then our code date range still has both classes. Let's pull this out. I don't know, the grabbing thing is just, I don't pause enough, I guess. There you go. Okay, and he needs foundation. Oh, actually he doesn't. There's nothing interesting about him from that point of view. Okay. Good. That's a good question. Yeah, we probably don't now, do we? He's really just two dates. I'm surprised they don't warn me about that. Okay. So I think that's good. I think we can close these for now. And then the calendar tile, I could throw that. I want to get back to the calendar view, I guess it is. So, okay. So, yeah, events, matching month year. So, let's see. Let's finish this. Sort and filter. Okay. Now the sorting. Well, that's kind of interesting. Where's that coming from? Oh, made up. Okay. Yeah, so notice what we did along the way here. And this was while we were just putting together the UI. It's like, oh, we need to be able to ask the months or ask the matching ones, which are valid needs. But I think what this is telling us is, hey, we probably want to wrap this class, the array of events, because we already need two functions on it, and we're hardly done, and they're just total stubs. So, yeah, let's look at that. So, in this, remember, it needs to be, it really needs to be months for this month or future, and sorted in date order. Okay. And we get month years out. Well, those are month years. We have an object for that, but it's very empty. Nope. Just let's get it up there. Okay. Right now it's just identifiable and has a description that doesn't mean anything. So it's totally not legit. All right. So yeah, that's where we're pushing from this. So I think one thing is the events. I think we should have an object for that. So let's create one. Right now we got this, but I'm just going to make it here. Struct events. So this is kind of an extract class refactoring. Okay, and what we want it to do is hold this. Okay, so we'll even just give it that. Okay, and now anybody who accesses the original of this, they should be coming through us. All right, and I don't know, what does the for loop do? He really asks for events. Oh, wrong one. Okay, he asked the months. Yeah, neither of these is quite there. Okay, it was just enough shape to get the UI going. So let's give calendar view an events object. And see what breaks on the build. Okay, so he should get one coming in, so the callers are going to break. Okay, and then events, calendar events. Oh, all part of calendar view still. Okay. He should get events. And then he's asking events, months, and matching. So let's move those functions over. Losing my voice here, sorry. All right, so they're just extensions there now. Months and matching, let's return events. Okay, so he does return an actual list of events. Okay. And this, let's make an events. And I think it's probably nice if we do the init for that. Okay, so we'll put the underscore on. When there's one type of thing going in, or there's no confusion between them, I don't mind these underscore ones. I get tired of saying events, and stuff like that, so if we can avoid them, it's kind of nice. All right, so this. Counter tile events. Well, let's make that events. Is that? No, that's old. Okay. It's handy that we can put extensions on, an array of event like this, but I think this is a better structure for us. Okay, so that built. Let's take this out. Let's run those tests. Mostly, there may be one or two that put together some events. I don't know if there are. More of the previews, I think. All right, we'll create an event struct to hold the array. Commit and push that. And let's go ahead and get this in its own file. Well, okay. I'll do it one of the other ways. All right. Well, it's a complaint. Okay, we need foundation for identifiable. You have to mark the location if you want the extract file to work. Mark the location where I want it to go. Okay, we'll give that a try again. I don't know, the refactor menu is just silently failing so many times. Okay, so we've extracted events to its own class or its own file. I don't know that I really need to run tests for that. If it builds, it's probably okay. Okay, yeah, I can click on the folder before I try and do the extract. Okay. So oops. Calendar view. So this event.months, let's go get that and deal with that. So that's a very testable thing. Okay. And then A date range is really part of calendar. I'm gonna subgroup this. I don't know what I just did there. New folder from selection. Calendar. Okay. Um, 2 or 3 dates, one in the past, 1 or 2 in the future. Yeah, that'd be good. File the events.swift is part of module DPN. No, I don't want that. Okay, he should only be there. Okay, I probably screwed that up somehow and hitting the wrong thing. All right, he needs a DPN test. Okay, the events. Dates in the past and the future. Yeah. All right, so events. We're going to work on months first. And, I mean, how does it know when the past is, right? I think we're going to have to tell it. Let's call it future months. Is there a word for present and future? Upcoming months. Where's my thesaurus? Trying for future. Yeah. That might be, yeah, passing in something seems right. I don't know the right name to call it. Maybe visible. That's not helping. Visible months or yeah, that might be okay. Okay, so we'll get the name right, but then we're going to change it into a function. And I think he's going to take a month year just to kind of keep the analogy going. Okay, so that'll do that. Then we've got to get the collar straightened out. Visible months from month, year. We'll do that for now. That's month, year of. Okay. Int. Visible months with start a month, year. Okay. Cannot convert value of int to expected argument type UID. Oh, I don't have a constructor for month, year. Oops, deleted something. Okay. Okay. Lost the events. Okay. So, visible ones. Okay. Past months aren't visible. This is a little confusing. Okay, so if I do an event with start date is 12/31/2024 and end date is the same, argument passed to call that takes no arguments. Event has to specify these two. Is he just not quite caught up to the situation here? Oops, I'm the one that's confused. Okay. Why would it worry about month year being equatable? Oh, they are month years. Okay. Well, he's going to be simple enough. Yeah, I should test with his empty, right? Okay. Okay. Expectation failed. We got some month, some year. All right. That's fine. I don't know why why that error is not going away. Okay. All right. So, months. Well, I don't know if I should take the trouble on month year. It's comparable, right? And actually, I do want to get equatable in there too. Okay, so I want to get these fields in. I think I just override equals, right? Yeah. Well, no, I'm going to ignore the UIDs. So if I have two separate events with separate MDYs, they shouldn't care that the IDs equal or don't equal. But the ID is useful if you're showing it on the screen. But I don't know. We may not need it. We'll see. I feel like, let me explicitly test these. This is a month, year. Well, my pattern for this is from Jim Shore. Let's let this be month, year. So we'll create two independent objects. Actually, I'll do three because there's multiple fields involved. Okay, and then some expects. So A1 equals A2. But doesn't equal B and doesn't equal C. Okay. Oh. I took the generated one without looking. Okay, I'm not worrying about the events test. I'm really just doing this one. If I was going to be really strict, I would comment out the events test, but I'm really just going to look at this. And this test should pass. Oh, I just copied the function definition. Okay, this one passed. That's good. All right, now let's test our less than. Well, probably take the same structure. Okay. And if you define less than and equals, you get all of them, so that's handy. So A1 should be less than B, and A1 should be less than C. So that's year the same, month different, or month the same, year different. Okay, so I think that's probably okay. And that should fail. Okay. And let's see, how would we know they're less? Well, if LHS dot year is less than RHS dot year, then it's definitely true. And if it's different, it's definitely false. And otherwise they're equal, so return LHS dot month is less than RHS dot month. Okay, and the only one failing is this one that we haven't really done yet. Okay, so visible months, we want to make sure our test is, do you return a month in the past? So let's see. So I guess we're going to say events dot filter events that are greater than or equal to start. Map to, I guess it's really the start, right? So it's $0 dot start date is the interesting thing. Or is it end date? Yeah, there's no month year on there. I think it should be well, it should be end date, right? So if the end date is in the current month, then we want to include it. Okay, so right, so let's get this formatted a little. Okay, but we need month year of $0 dot end date. Okay, and we don't have yeah. Certainly I should be able to get the end date, the month year from a MDY, right? So it's, well, that wasn't quite what I thought would happen. I would like to ask it, what's your month year? Okay, so, well, I'm going to stack it again. Oh, I got a month year. No, I don't have anything for MDY though. Okay, so and MDY knows its month year. Okay, and there's no month year on MDY. And we'll just return some junk. Okay. Okay. Back to events. Okay, I got to know that $0 dot end date dot month year is greater than or equal to start. So if the event hasn't ended in the current month, then it's active. And then I need to get from the event dot whoops $0 dot end date dot month year. Okay, we can improve this, but I think that'll work. So we get MDYs turned into month years. We get the array of them. I think that should be passing. Yeah, so I'm saying we don't require that the start date be in the current month, but if the end date is, we'll treat that as an active one for this month. It'll be a little weird. You said show everything from January on, and it shows you something from December. But okay, so I think the what we're doing, we're filtering out the ones that are late enough, and then map them into that month year. Well, we can reverse that. Map each one to its month year, and then $0 now is a month year, and filter out the ones that do the start. This is probably overreaching what we needed. So let's write a test that has some stuff. Actually, maybe we should just extend that other test. Just give it one that is visible. I'll give it 2. Okay, so we're looking for 1/2025. Let's get a start date of that, but this one is 1/1/25. Okay, and I'm going to put them out of order. And force the sort. 7, 8, 27, and okay. So now we want to say what it is equals month year 1/2025 and month year not as sure what I want. Okay, so we should get those 2 months back. Yeah, I think this will fail because they're out of order, but it won't fail because it will have 2 events coming back, I think. But not the event that's totally in the past. $125 got some month, some year, some month, some year. Where is that coming from? Oh, descriptions. That is not useful. I don't know if we're using that or not. Let's try that again. Well, I think it's a complicated question. I think the case I'm not covering is, let's say it started in December and finished in February, then 1/1 is not, you would think we would show January, but maybe not. I don't know who's supposed to be in there. I think it maybe needs something more like a contains, but that's okay. So what's failing now? Oh, I didn't run it again. I guess I don't know. Since they're identifiable, I think we can do that. Is that enough? Do binding of data? What are you talking about? Okay, I'm going to have to back that out. I'm just going to put month and year for now, but we need to do better. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, honestly, it's not usual. Okay, this can come off. I mean, well, there are festivals that run a week for sure. That's that's kind of the most a festival runs, but that's not true. No, there are festivals that run like a month. I think there was one in Philadelphia last summer. It's not a Dulcimer festival, but it is a music festival that we put on another calendar. And they basically are running events every day for, a couple of months. And then there are ones that aren't exactly festivals, but they're sort of a series of events that take place over a time. So there's something here in Asheville called Shindig on the Green, and it's sort of like Sunday night concerts. Yeah, we definitely have to worry about a week long thing across 2 months, but I don't think we have to worry about 3 months. Okay, let's make sure the failure is what I think the failure should be. The sorting issue, not the other issue. Okay, so 7/27/1/2025 is not in sorted order. Okay, that we can fix. Dot sorted. Okay, let's make sure we've got this fixed before we worry about it. Is it over one day? So, right, like what should we show? Yeah, so if we had one that it starts in December and it finishes in February, and you said, show me everything January on, I think I would want to see, excuse me, I don't want to see it both months. All right. Let's see. So we did several things in this. So let's see, MDY, we made, okay, so, MDY knows its month year. Month year is equatable and comparable. And events know the month years for things. Sorted by date. Okay. Right. So, okay. So I think we need more thinking about visible months. So path months are not visible, and visible months are sorted. Okay. I should know the start date and the month year should contain that December date. Okay, so let's so I think what I want to say is that if it starts in December and ends in February and you ask it for events in January, I think it should show up there. Well, if you ask for the months, I think it should say, yes, something is active in January. All right, because that seems completely relevant. If you're showing them for the months, things that are active in January, then I guess it's really like the start date is no. I don't know. Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, we could say normally we only show you stuff that's, if you say show me stuff after January, but you have something that started in December and continues in January, I could show it in December. And that would be reasonable. I mean, I'm showing them in their start month, right? So if something starts January 27th and ends February 15th, I'm going to show it in January, and the fact is it runs across, but I'm not going to show it twice. So yeah, your solution is reasonable. I guess if it's currently active, it needs to be visible in its own month or the earliest available. Yeah, I think one of these two is right. And I think your approach might be simpler. I was thinking I should show it in January, and that would be saying show anything whose end date, well, let's see. Show anything whose end date is active in January. No, I think right. Yeah, let's so this would be ongoing ongoing event should show in its start month, even if that's past. These edge cases. Ooh. Okay, so this one, let's see, that's, well, no, I think we're changing this, right? Past, I think, okay, let's say past events. So if an event completed before the start date, it should not show up. Okay, so let's make one. So for this test, if it started in, well, 1/2/2020 and it ended in 1/5/2020, we don't want to see it. Okay, so he should, that test should still pass. This test will probably complain I'm not running it, but that's okay. If the event is active, if it's easier to get the start date and make a month date from that. Yeah, I think you're right. So we are after events who have not completed by the date. But we need the start dates too. Okay, that flips it around a little. Okay, let's take this structure because it's going to be similar. Okay, ongoing event. We only need one event to prove this though. So if this is 12/31/2027 and it ends February 1st, 2027. This is okay. The visible months for 1/2020. Whoops, 8. Yes, thank you. Well, maybe the crossing the years is not improving things. How about 1/31/2027 and 3/1/2027? because it's not just the year boundary that causes the problem. It's the start month. Okay, so that thing, we expect the visible month to be, if we said we're in 2027, and you ask for the visible months only after February, then he should answer 2027. Okay, so we're saying since the event was active in month 2, we should show it on whatever month it started. Okay, does that test look right to you? Okay, and this is not what we're doing. And I think my little optimization is probably not helping. Yeah, this should fail. I should say that. Okay, and are you failing for the right reason? Come back empty to 2027. Okay, we get back 3/2027 because the end date, and we expected 1/2027 because of the start date. Okay, I don't even know if it's contains. Let's go back to events. We're getting the end dates. So the way you become, the way you're eligible to be on our list is your end date is greater than or equal to the start. Okay, so the one with the end date in March is greater than or equal to the February. So I think we should put this back this way: 0 dot end date dot month year is greater than or equal to the start. So your bracket outlining when you're active, if the end date is after the start, I mean, end date is always after start date, so we don't have to worry about that. If the end date's after the start, the event is definitely active on the start. If we slid over the bracket, or slid it this way and it's totally behind, then it's not a problem. Okay, but I think this is start date. So we're saying we want to find the events that are active because their end date is not terminated, and then get their start dates. So I think that will give us the right one. Let's put that where. But yeah, but we can't map over the same thing. But I think your solution that says let's show January in this case, even though February would be natural, but we would see like, oh, it is going to run in January. Okay. Interesting, these little cases. Dates are the worst. Okay, so this is the events. And, well, I didn't make him... Oh, he did fail. Oh, yeah, this one now is different. Right. But this one passed, so that's good. I probably shouldn't... I should probably just show a past event and 2 future events. And I think this one is the case that we're testing. Okay, so it definitely should have 7/27, and then this is totally in the past. And we're asking for 2025. Let's make this one in the future. Okay, so this should be December 2025. Keep the month year for the events consistent. Yeah, I think that'll be all right. Okay, so July way in the future, December in the future, and then this past one, 2020, that shouldn't show up. Okay, I think we'll leave the ongoing events will be this separate test. I think I could probably say even if past and not really mess anybody up. Okay. So, if ongoing events show their start month, even if that's in the past. Okay. This is good. I don't know. It's a little bit like details. We could just show everything and not worry about this, but I think I'm liking it. And let's just do a run. We've done a bunch of tests. I think we have a sample event. I don't know if it's in the future enough, but we should see something. And our description is bad. We have to deal with that. You'll see it in a moment. Oh no, we don't have anything. Okay, that is festival calendar. Oh, this is calendar tile, was it? Yeah, he put some things in. All right. Yeah, let's make this future. And he's in 2 different months, so we will, well, yeah, that's okay. Oh, wait, why didn't those show? I said 2025. Oh, yeah, that one's too far in the past. Well, let's put our condition in. Yeah, I mean, it definitely is a reasonable approach. Okay. Well, something's funny. The 12/20/24 is fine. I mean, for what we have right now. Why are both events showing up in each month, though? Oh, we don't filter anything yet. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Let's get this description improved, though. What was on month year, right? Because, ugh, we need that list of months again. Like, come on. All right. I guess that's on MDY now, isn't it? No? It's on date range? Hmm. I don't know why this is the convention, but if you have a class, oh, well, let's make it struct then. I think it's going to complain, but I'm going to call it names. So anybody who did months, since member names cannot be used on type months. Okay, so you're saying, so I should select this, refactor, extract selection to file, good. Okay. It's a little awkward to have just this constant, but we need it in here. Okay, so your subscription is months.name sub month and the year, I guess comma year. And I guess I'll throw in a test for that too. That's no biggie. But to make this look nicer, yeah. Okay, so a month year. And that's kind of confirming test because I just put the thing in. Whoops. Equals. Okay. One more run. I could have sworn last week these were dark colored and kind of hard to see. I don't know what I did different that didn't trigger. All right, so yeah, we get December, even though we're theoretically asking for January, we get December because that event's ongoing. And then we need to think about these. I should take that appending thing out too. I don't need it now. All right. Well, I think that fits with what we should be doing next. Okay, so events matching this. Right. Well, right now we don't. It's really more like month events starting in month year. But the sorting, well, I think. Well, I think this thing should be designed to only. Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't. He just returns events now. So he really should return events that start in the month year and in ascending order by date, at least for starters. We don't really right now. We don't break out the states, so we got to think about how we're going to do that. And again, I might punt that over to the calling thing. But I think we're due for a break. So let's take a break, 3 or 4 minutes. We'll come back and get things sorted, and hopefully that'll help. All right, see you in a few minutes. Welcome back. All right. Well, let's get this plus out of here. That was putting these on the same line just to prove that we could mix bold and regular by using that plus thing. But I really do want the event name on its own line. All right. And then this, for a given month, we should only show ones that start in that month. If they're ongoing and carry through that month, we don't care. And they should be in order by date, by start date. Okay. So let's check that, the events. Okay, and so I think matching, this is really starting in. Okay, and I think that helps us write our test. Okay. All right, we'll grab a couple of events. Well, once again, this is sort of the basic structure of these. Okay, so we want events starting in, and let's give ourselves 7/1/2027 and eight 2027. Okay, so if I started in month 7 2027, I guess I give it a name. Oh, good point. Let's get one that's stretches over the month and one that's contained in the month. And this one stretches out but past it. Okay. And then I'm going to map this. And just to make sure it's not sorting by name, let's put this last. No. Put them backwards. Okay. Okay, so we want to get the events that start in this month, July. We don't care when they end. And then sort them by their start date. All right, that should be a feeling test. Yeah, there it is. Should be implemented as a caseless enum. Did my test run? No. Yeah, that's true. Okay, that's better. What did we get? We got everything and not sorted. Okay, so let's put one in the middle. Okay, that doesn't change the problem, I don't think, for us. Okay, so starting in, and we're going to get the events, and they're going to be sorted. Okay. Okay. Okay, good. Kind of a helpful message. All right. We will take events, and we only want ones with end date, month, year, greater or equal to start. No, start date. Equal to start. Okay, only events that that had this for a start date, and then sorted by $0 dot start date less than $1 dot start date. Okay. Okay, MDY is not comparable yet. Okay, let's do that. Well, that's actually kind of tricky too, isn't it? Okay, so we're going to let A1 equal I guess I'm going to, I don't know if I need A1, I just need A. We'll make MDY 721 2020. Let's go forward a little. Okay. A should be less than B because the date is before, the day is before. A is less than C because the month is before. And A is less than D because the year is before. All right, and we want to say comparable. He's supposed to offer to put this in for me. Come on. Okay. So this is that's why you didn't put it in. Okay. All right. If the year is less, then it's definitely less. Is that enough? Okay, if the year's less, it's less. I don't think I need to say else if. If the year is equal, I don't know, I almost like to go the other way. And I'm kind of okay to format it a little unusually. Okay, now I know they're equal and I can do the months. The years are equal. If the month is less, then it's definitely less. false. If the month is less, it's less. If the month is greater, it can't be less. Okay. Okay. I guess that's all there is to it. It's a filter and a sort. And now we should see one thing in each month's deal. Yes. Okay. December 20th to January 20. December 8th to January 8th. Okay. March 7th through April 7th. Okay, well that's promising. All right. Match events starting in month year, sorted by date. Okay, now if you click state, I don't know, I kind of feel like instead of December 2024, it ought to say state, what is it, Alabama, Alaska, whatever's first. Alabama, I don't know, Alaska, Florida, Georgia, all those guys, each one of those should get a slot. And then we get the list of those. And I'm kind of going off. Festivals and workshops. So like we sort these by states, we actually add virtual. Well, let's see. Okay, I'm in North Carolina, so I got to go down a ways. But there's a bunch here, so that's good. But within the thing, they're supposed to be sorted by date. Okay, which they appear to be. Yeah, well, distance would be nice. We don't have that information directly. I mean, I guess we could. Well, I don't know. How am I going to make something that tells me what state you're in? Like that's. Filter by event name. I guess I could filter by state. That might be more useful. But I think at least at the bare minimum, we should be like this, and we should list kind of per state. One could be virtual, even though it's not a real state. And there's a little bit of funniness, like this one's Black Mountain, North Carolina, and this one's Asheville, NC. All right, now I'm willing to like only put virtual first, and like our locations, I would put this as virtual or Asheville, NC. Or Asheville, North Carolina. I'm willing to do a little bit of convention on the location names. And then the rest of this will go in the notes. So WCU at Biltmore Park, I'd put that in the notes. That'd be fine. So, all right. So what we have now is just location, but I could see, kind of the same argument as getting our dates converted to MDYs. I could see saying our events have a city and state, which could be empty. Or it's virtual. And I don't know, maybe virtual is a separate tag. Maybe our events just have a thing, do you support virtual? So I know there are events that do both. So we definitely have to accommodate that. I think March. Yeah. So, this one's Sandbridge, Virginia, or virtual. Okay, so they allow both. You can attend or you can watch it online. But if we had a field for city and a field for state, both could be empty, which case we don't know them, and a tag that says this event does support virtual, that would be handy enough. Or maybe the state is virtual. I'm okay with that. Group by state, sort by date within the groups. Yeah, I think that's what I'd like for now. And then even when it was distance, right, I would probably still want that. If I did distance from my zip code, I'd like all the North Carolina ones to show up first, and then I'd probably see, well, no, that wouldn't work either, would it? Because I live 5 miles from Tennessee, so there's not going to be a Dulcimer Festival closer to me. Well, that's not true. There could be a Tennessee Dulcimer Festival far closer to me than any North Carolina one, put it that way. So there will be some, for my situation, probably for a lot of people, because states aren't very, standard. Depending where you live, if you're in the panhandle of Oklahoma, it's very, very long and thin. There could be lots of Texas and Arkansas or whatever that's closer to you, but compared to getting over to the far side of the state, and Oklahoma's a big state. North Carolina is moderately big. Pennsylvania's pretty big if you're driving across. California's huge if you're driving up and down. It would definitely be easy to have things closer to you that aren't in your state and then back to your state. So I can't sort by state for distance, but I can just sort by state, which is a reasonable thing to look for. Right. So I think I want to know, I think I need a flag for virtual. And then for my states, maybe I just list out virtual. Yeah, maybe I just list that out as a separate thing, and it's got a section header. It looks like a state, but it's not, kind of thing. And like this one, I'd put the virtuals first. We do have an international one. That's very unusual for us. Okay, so where does that leave it? Well, okay, it's almost 4. If we said events had states and city instead of just location, well, and it is virtual tag. And the tag could be true and you still have a location because you could be both. Would it ever be true just by itself? It could be true with no location. Yeah, that's right. All right. So is anybody referencing location at this point? There's probably a test. Calendar tile. Okay, we faked up some. Yeah. Event view prints them. Yes. Okay. Well, I think we can do that. All right. So if I said there is virtual is Boolean, we'll start it off as false. And you can change it. And then location, let's pull that down here. And city and state. Now, I still have, yeah, I think that's, yeah, have we had events in multiple locations? I don't think so. I guess if you do, you could just list both of them, you know. Conceptually, it's the same event, but, you know, I don't know. You could have a simultaneous festival. We do have ones that are occurring on the same dates. I know that. City, state, and string. And then location, well, that's going to be a small bit of formatting. Well, that's going to need some design. For now, we'll just do city, comma, /state, which will sort of be the equivalent. And then whoever puts location in, they're going to have to be is virtual false, city, Asheville, state is North Carolina. Location is not done. I lost state in there. It was capitalized. All right. That's those two. That goes away. We're treating it as a string. Okay. So let's run and make sure that that's all good. Oops. I think event can. Well, wait a minute. Okay, thank you. Okay. Like, how did our test work if it wasn't allowed to do that? We also have an ambiguity about the state, because both the two-letter names and the spelled out names are going to be legal. But maybe that's not necessary. Okay. So those are fine. Doesn't break anything there. All right. All right. Well, this could be messy. Okay. Let's deal with this while we're close here. Okay, so an event. We don't have an event. Okay. Um, okay. No city or state yields empty string. It's funny how much I don't want to put those in. Maybe I should allow that. I think, I think that's sort of a pattern that, like, James Shore's his patterns for kind of avoiding mocks, and I think just kind of a general one. If you put these in as available defaults, you certainly simplify tests, and sometimes you simplify production code. I think they tend to be more for the benefit of the test, but that's just a date in the past. All right. But it keeps me from writing this when I completely don't care. So if the city is empty and the state is empty, I want to expect set.location should be empty. Yeah, that's true. I don't know if that's true if people are typing. Well, I don't know. I think it's nicer spelled out in the view of it. Sorry, in the main screen, I think it would be the sections would look better spelled out. Well, come on. I just killed my test probably. The sections would look better spelled out like North Carolina, because like it's like, okay, is AK Alaska or Arkansas? I don't remember. I never write people in either one, so yeah, present it spelled out. But if they're filtering by it, I think they should probably be able to do it either way. I don't know. Are there ones where Alaska, Alabama, right? One of those two is going to lose. If you do AL, what are you asking for? So, is empty, and it failed, right? That's the real thing. Yeah, we got a comma. Okay, is empty. Okay, so if city is empty and state is empty, return empty string. Otherwise, return this, which is probably still not right enough. So I could believe. What if somebody doesn't say? Yeah, I think Arkansas is AR. There's a very funny comedy skit about naming these things, giving these things their two-letter names. So Alaska and Alabama, Alabama's much more populated, so they got AL. Alaska got AK. I guess Arkansas got AR. All right. I guess if there's a missing city, State, but no city yields state. I don't know that this is going to happen. A lot. It's really kind of a data error. Okay. And I'll just put in the other two cases. Vegas and state empty. I want it to say Vegas somewhere, I guess. And then the good case, city and state yields both. Okay. Okay, expect another one passing. Yeah, just drive around until you find it. Well, it's probably still bigger than some countries, right? So I keep missing verticals. That's a silly one. Whoops, I didn't mark the tests. Okay, this one should still be failing. Good. Okay. Well, I almost think this has to be a completely different view for state. I mean, in here we're dealing with the visible months. I mean, that's, yeah, starting in month year is not going to work for us because we're not filtering that way. So, I mean, I think it's the similar structure that it's a list and sections and events, but everything else about it is different. So I'm going to call this calendar events by date, maybe. Okay. And I think this should just bring up that similar view. We'll have something that asks events for their states. And yeah, so ask for their states and then find those matches. Okay. And I guess we'll put the stub, the event, the by state. And I think we'll throw this away when distance is available. Okay, so this is events by state. Oh, well, no, it's not even that. Maybe it's just events visible. We'll get all events after a certain date. Yeah, we still have to filter that. So let's put the stub on here for this. Okay. Now, events are identifiable, so I don't know what the complaint is there. The header is month year dot. Oh, no, maybe I do need the states. I don't even want the events, do I? He's not month year. He's going to be a state. Right, but he gets me month years. He doesn't get me events. It might be good to twist that around so that you do fetch events from something. Yeah, I mean, I think we could probably do something to like events from date sorted. Yeah, sort of doesn't even matter. But visible months could be getting month years from this. That's really the filtered events. Um, is that even relevant for us? I guess it is. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, states from he really wants string. I almost think we need this. We'll start it here. State equals string. There, that may grow because we do have some stuff going. I mean, we talked about abbreviations versus states and things like that that could turn into functions there. Okay, so let's say that gives us a state. Excuse me. Yeah. Okay, so keep clicking the wrong one. Okay, so states from, that gives me state in text of states its own description, foreground special text. Okay, and then I want events contained in yeah, I need to filter by state. And starting in a given month. Now, starting in this does. Oh no, that's end date and that's start date. Yeah, it really is kind of different. I guess what we want to ask is, I want the events from this month year, but they have to be like, the state has to match the state. All right, because that's the section coming in. So we'll define another one for that. This might be okay. But starting in. Okay. Then, well, let's just put events for now. Okay. Do we have enough? Starting in, that should be fine. What's going on up here? String cannot be used as an attribute. Oh, am I backwards? Time values. State equals string. struct string cannot be used as string declared here. Oh, state. Yeah, I can't override that. Let's make this US state. Okay. And that should make that happier. But state is month, year. That's almost this again, which is not really right. Okay, I'm going to get the events with the state starting in that month, year. I mean, I'm just getting the state names. That seems like it's going to have to be in there twice because the events I want in the section are those starting with that date. In this state, extra argument state. No, I don't think there is. Starting. Oops. Okay. Cannot find state. We'll really hard code it just to make things fail. Or, well, it'll run now, but it'll fail in tests. Well, I can move this down. Yes, I don't know. The real question to me is like, how are we going to get that right? It's going to have to be some function of the date. Like we can get the current date, which seems like what we want for that. But then we got to convert it to the month, year. Now maybe that's only when we open it. Okay, are we running? All right, here's the big moment. State. Oh, I didn't use it ever. Okay, so calendar events by date. Okay, yeah, this is calendar order, sort order. Okay, try again. Oh, that's... Yeah, could we cache it? I don't know. It's going to have to go somewhere. I mean, maybe it comes in at the top for calendar view. Hey, that's kind of something. um, we don't restrict the events properly because we just return them all. But NCNE now, yeah, that it's going to get a little more complicated. I do want them spelled out. That's a little too harsh. If it's spelled out North Carolina here, but it used the abbreviation, I don't think that would cause anybody any grief. Okay. So what have we done? Well, we sort of made an initial view for working with state. Sort by it. Events doesn't know how to find the right info, however. Okay, and that's kind of where we're going to have to pick up. And I think this is just different because our starting in that has to use the actual start dates. I think our ending, or I think this one is going to say anybody whose end date is after month year qualifies for that state. Yeah, I mean, a map would help. Because, like, for me, I mean, if I say I'm willing to drive 4 hours, or 4 hours for a weekend event. Yeah, NC's North Carolina, so East Coast, like Virginia's kind of in the middle, right? And then North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, I think. I know we neighbor Georgia and South Carolina. But yeah, for me, if I'm willing to drive, say, 4 hours, kind of half a day to get somewhere. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to have that for sure. I mean, I've got at least 4 states I could drive to within 4 hours, maybe 5 or 6. I'm not sure. And so, distance would be definitely a better thing. I mean, yeah, it'd be like when you rent a hotel, look for hotels and it gives you a little map that shows you, here's where all the things are. That'd be kind of nice. All right. But I think we can pick up from here. So I'm terrible about keeping this up to date while we're doing it. Okay, but sort by date, I think we've basically done that one. So that's pretty good. UI for sort by state, and then we need to pick up with state related functions in events. Okay, because those are the ones there. And then we'll do filtering, and I think we'll filter by event name in the one and maybe by state in the other, because I think it'd be very natural to come in and say, oh, North Carolina. I'm typing North even that I get North Dakota, North Carolina, North whatever. Are there others? Well, there aren't going to be any in North Dakota because there's just not enough people to have them probably. But if I did that north and I got North Carolina, then I could go back and I could go 10, get Tennessee because that's potentially close enough for me. And, if I live somewhere, I probably know the 3 or 4 states I'm wanting to drive to. But if I live in the middle of a big state, it's like 4 hours might not get me. If you're in Texas, you might need 24 hours to get out. I don't know. 8 hours, 16. Okay, yeah, we'll pick up there tomorrow. We'll get the sorting working and get this with the map you mentioned, and I think that'll go reasonably well. It puts more on that parser. Oh yeah, it's Monday, so I'm off on Friday. So Monday 2 to 4:30 Eastern, 7 to 9:30 p.m. UTC. We'll pick up with this, and I'm sure we'll do. The states will probably take much of Monday, but not all of it, and then we'll start doing some filtering. All right. Thanks for joining. Mudshark especially. Thanks for all your comments and help, and have a good weekend. Bye-bye.